So let me just share with you what goes into running a city. So there are multiple sources of revenue, and one of the things that you want to do is the diversification of your revenue stream, so that there's no concentration. And because if there's concentration, you are exposed to risk. So if there's an area where you are under collecting, it's got significant impact on the revenue of the municipality. So one of the things that we wanted to do was that if you would come to think of a capital city, and in this instance, Tshwane,
Yes.
just the seat of the executive, union buildings, ministers, the High Court, and it ends there. So there's no real diversification of the economy. So we thought that the issues of culture, entertainment, hospitality could be a significant draw card into the city. So that's one. But we also don't want to locate it into a space where the economy is and the communities is already thriving. Remember at the point that 2011, we incorporated an area called Bronkhorstspruit, the far eastern part of the country. And there's no economic activity to today. Of course, there used to be an industrial park that collapsed many years ago. So that was the main economic attraction and employer. So what we wanted to do was that first imagine a solution that can bring about hospitality, because we know it's a employment absorption capacity and the like, but also it must be a shared facility. What do I mean by that? So you don't use it once off and then you wait for the next year and it gets to be used. So essentially you are providing a facilities, an entertainment facility, recreation facility. Then we invested money into that. So if you go at the time, you will see a nicely manicured, a place of meeting, and what we're envisaging was that we're also going to put accommodation facilities, but not by the city. All we do, we provide what we call basic services, bulk infrastructure, roads, sanitation, water, and the like. That's where we threw the money. And then much later we thought, but one of the ways of making sure that this is an attraction, you can have a major music festival. There's something called Glastonbury.
Yeah, Glastonbury, yes.
It was modeled along that.
Okay.
And then we then went with one of the major recording companies, I forgot. I think
it was Sony.
Sony.
Because I know Sean Watson was...
Yes.
Is his friend who was organizing that thing.
And then they constructed an idea to say that let's have this the Dinokeng Festival.
Yeah.
And the major draw card was going to be Nicki Minaj. And
So
then
did she get paid though?
No.
She didn't get paid?
No. We invested, the money was sunk into the infrastructure that then could be used by communities. Of course, there was a contractual agreement to say once she comes, the festival takes off, and then she appears. There's going to be.
But usually with those high-profile artists, you have to pay deposit. They're not just going to leave America without getting any money.
Oh, yes. So what we did was through Sony as a facilitator and interlocutor, it sat with them. And of course, the artist didn't come. So it means that the money reverts back to us. And I think that in hindsight, I think we could have explained what we wanted to do much, much better. Remember that when we have this conversation, there's a juxtaposition of basic service delivery, bringing high-profile figure from United States, you are wasting money without an appreciation of what is it that we are trying to do. And I think in hindsight, we should have communicated the message better. But the infrastructure
is still there. Is it still
well,
there?
I'm not sure if it's still looked after, but the money was sunk into the infrastructure. And the community could continue to use it.
Why didn't the event happen? I forgot. Why didn't it happen so?
No. I mean, it was just a backlash. I mean, just people say you're wasting money on international. And then we decided, look, we don't think that this is good for the brand that is the city. So let's just discontinue this year. Wow. And then, so that was a backlash. I mean, sometimes you mustn't be tone deaf. I think it's important that even though you have a foresight of what the future looks like, you want to diversify the revenue streams. But if you are unable to sell, if you like, the business case, the commercial case, what you are trying to do, and you must just accept that the communities also have views. And I guess that, like I said, in hindsight, one of the things that you could do when you make such a major event decision, it's a major disruptor. You must be canvas, if you like, local opinion, so that there's a multiplicity of view, there's convergence that, oh, this is right, or no, let's prioritize on this. So you accept that it's something that didn't find favor. But what we know is that there's not been diversification of the revenue streams. The economic health of the municipality has deteriorated. So it's important that in running a city, you have an appreciation of the need to continue to think ahead, innovate, introduce things anew. And I do accept some of them will fail, some of them are likely going to succeed. But it's a calculated risk that you take. I mean, you weigh the pros and cons. Clearly, in this instance, the management of that project from a communication point of view, stakeholder engagement, left a lot to be desired and decided, okay, let's cut down.
That's strange, man. Why would people not want to see Nicki Minaj? That's very weird. Yeah?
Well, apart from Nicki Minaj, just permanent infrastructure that will then benefit, the local communities, and there'll be employment as well from those
accommodation.
So that's very strange. Yeah, why they'd oppose that project. Yeah. But in that project, how much then had the city invested?
We're going to invest 35 million. In the basic infrastructure. And then, of course, I forgot what the figure was.
But it's in the tens of millions.
Yeah, I think about 10, 12 million that we're going to spend. No, 35, I know, was just on the infrastructure.
Like I said, spent.
Yes, because we had to sync the infrastructure. I mean, people must come, there must be ablution.